so many issues. The World Cup was one of the biggest turning points, in the history of the Arab world, not just Qatar. 99% of the companies made losses in World Cup. 99%, I'm not kidding. Basically, Qatar doesn't have businesses after World Cup. It was the best World Cup in the world. Yes, organization-wise, and I accept it. And I have to say, I love the country, but I have to say, and you have to accept this, it was the worst World Cup when it comes to economic stability. It just destabilized the whole country. Everything has been destabilized, okay? You can see, Abdullah is living, for example, in Doha before World Cup and after World Cup. 100% difference. 100%. Not just, it was different. No, 100% difference. World Cup was like, Qatar entered this wall, which looked like a wall, but then it was another dimension after it. It's a different country, I'm not a big fan of the politics in the country. Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, that's real. I always love your honesty because you've always been honest, and it's your reflection and perspective. You know what I mean? What do you think could have happened to maybe stave off some of that, the economic or the lack of economic opportunity, because a lot of people feel the way you feel as well, and they feel like things have skyrocketed. People have lost on opportunities. What do you think would have been different?
Before I answer this question, I'm always very honest, except when it comes to my wife. There you have to be diplomat, That's an advice. Yeah, you still can be honest.
That should be clipped right there. That's a clip right there.
Clip.
That's a heavy fact.
Definitely writing it down right now. That's a
clip right there.
That's honesty right there as well. Okay.
No. That is wisdom right there. That is wisdom.
Right.
Good thing my wife doesn't understand English very well, so I can say whatever I want right away. Okay. It's a good question. Honestly, Hamza, that's such an interesting question. Wallahi, I would be honored to answer this question at also a very professional platform if there was a chance. I definitely think I'm a very qualified person to speak on Doha's sort of ecosystem, and I mean, to be honest, the World Cup was there are two answers, okay? This is going to be very controversial. I have to say that. Did the government want a different World Cup? 100% no. No. It actually went in favor of whatever the leadership wanted. They wanted less people, less chaos. They wanted more people to convert to Islam. It worked, by the way. The best World Cup to showcase Islam was this one. Actually, I would say that Qatar is one of the only countries that, I'm not going to say this one, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Qatar did a good job when it comes to Islam, okay? The leadership was not in favor of huge numbers. But then there were a lot of mixed feelings, okay? If you're not in favor of the crowd that you want to attract, why did you allow so many properties to be built? Because properties will bring more jobs, right? But then when those properties don't do well, then there is a vacuum. Now, if there is no vacuum, then it's okay. But don't create the vacuum. So it's like, it's different when you open a new phase of the city to be inhabited by people. Then you open, but then it cannot be inhabited, So if the need wasn't there, why did you create it? Don't create the need if it doesn't have to be. Qatar, look, I grew up in Qatar, right? So I don't blame the country for the biggest event in the world to be treated differently, okay? What's the history? The history has been always Dubai companies coming on board, Turkish companies coming on board, and sort of carrying out all the operations. What is 365 Adventures? It's in the end a local company. The local companies don't get any recognition. Even if you are, for example, Urido. I mean, even Urido, for example, probably didn't get all the rights, like they were probably getting like other people from outside. So it's a very very long topic, starting with the first element from 2011. They won the bid in 2011. I remember that really well. Either 2011 or 10, but they won the bid in 2011 or 10. There has been no work done until the last 365 days. And also, it was so shocking. I think, AB, you were there when we used to chill in the base camp, and we're like, how is how is the World Cup gonna happen in the next 3 days? Nothing is ready. You remember that, right? I took
Of course.
I took Mitalzi, I took one of our friends, common friends, to Gataifan Island, and I'm shocked how Gataifan Island has changed so much, and and the common friend is shocked at how is it not ready at all. And he's like, man, how are they gonna have World Cup? And I'm shocked about a different thing, and he's shocked about a different thing. The reason being, he was there first time. I was there 3 days ago. 3 days ago, the place was barren land. 3 days later, at least it has roads. At least it has street lights. Okay, it's everything. It's a mess everywhere. And the common friend, Natalsi, he's like thinking, they're not ready. I'm like, my God, you don't understand, brother. There was nothing here 3 days ago. So I actually have a bit of faith now. I think there is going to be something, okay? Fast forward. I mean, the country was such a beautiful country on 21st of November that when visitors came from outside, they were saying that this is where you guys live? This is freaking heaven. I'm like, whatever you see, we see it for the first time too. This was not here yesterday, It's like it all came from the from the skies, honestly. So it's a very complex topic, We can't get into the
Yeah,
micros of it, yeah.
of course. I really wanted to ask you, just because you've been here for so long. Your family's been here since 1950, right? So it's like, I think you would be one person who could see it and say, well, I've been through it before, during, and after, right? And you're a businessman, a thriving businessman, mashallah. So I think you would be good to talk about it. We don't have to go through the whole lengths of everything. But what I would say is that, I was shocked at how many Muslims did, how many people did convert to Islam and got exposure to Islam. Like, that was something that was remarkable. And I remember my friends in the United States, it was a lot of kind of dirty propaganda about Qatar. And I thought that was unfair. And then when the friends came here, some of my high school friends came here, and they were like, wow, all the things they said in the U.S., I didn't see any of this. And that was the issue that I felt. Like, wow, the propaganda was so strong in the West. Like, well, this is what it is, guys. Come over here and you can realize why I'm here for 6 years. Alhamdulillah. So you know what I'm saying? And why I want to be here for more than 6 years. So that's the thing. So I appreciate you answering that. That's a minefield type of question. You know what I mean? But I've always appreciate.
I do have something to add here. Since you mentioned propaganda, now you do have to understand that non-Qataris that they like to criticize the country, and I think, in my opinion, we have the right to criticize the country because we are born on that land, right? So I'm not criticizing Qatar; I'm criticizing the land. And when they were doing those propagandas, I was watching them, and I'm like, why are you guys doing that? There is so much real stuff you can actually show that is wrong.
Right.
It was so funny that they were doing wrong propaganda on wrong things. I'm like, I can bring you something. It was like that feeling, when you're born in the country and you're not getting the best of the country. So of course, you want some sort of expose something, and that was always in my mind. I'm like, please guys, just do the right ones, Yeah, go ahead.
Definitely. The wrong propaganda.
He's like, guys, just hit up my line. I got you guys.
Just talk to me.
AB,
I will get you.
AB, you know how, like, you're saying, like, yeah, write to someone, and then they say something that is completely what you thought they weren't going to say.
Oh my goodness, man.
When I said that, I was like, oh, okay, I see where he's going with that now.
I told you, bro.
But nah, that's real talk. That's real talk.
Meraj is a Pandora box, man. You don't know what you're gonna get.
It's a fact. That's a fact. That's part of the experience.
Part of the experience,
what I mean?
man.
So nah.
But
that's real.
No, but Meraj, it's crazy because obviously we've known each other for so long now. But in the West, obviously, but also here too, we have a thing called like work-life balance. So you've heard this on social media, work-life